Hey guys, it's your humble host, or K if you prefer. So I'm back with another video. This is a topic I usually don't cover on YouTube. I usually make Twitter threads or Twitter rants about it. I've read enough of these articles to get really frustrated by them. And let me preface this with saying, no, I'm not against immigration overall. I am for legal immigration. I'm for our legal process of letting people in. And no, not everybody should be welcomed in. That should be more than obvious as to why. We've already had a few instances of human trafficking, people getting busted for having not their own kids. I mean, the list goes on. Now, so we're going to look at this article and we're going to talk about it. And there's some red flags because a bunch of people are already jumping on the outrage culture and, oh, well, our government should do better. No, there's a couple red flags that I caught reading the article that it should be a dead giveaway of why the U.S. government is not to blame for this. Let's read, shall we? This is by the HuffPost. Teen mom and prematurely born baby neglected at Border Patrol facility for 7 days. So remember that. Prematurely, that means before the 9 months. And I'm not trying to down talk you guys, but that is a detail. Remember that. The 1-month-old infant was wrapped in a dirty towel and looked listless, according to immigration lawyers who visited the facility. A prematurely born infant and her 17-year-old mother spent 7 days being almost entirely neglected in Border Patrol custody, according to lawyers who visited an immigrant processing station in McAllen, Texas on Tuesday and Wednesday. The baby, barely a month old, was wrapped in a dirty towel, wore a soiled onesie, and looked listless, said one of the lawyers. Again, this is word of mouth by lawyers. No photos, no nothing. Hope Fry. The mother was in a wheelchair due to complications from her emergency C-section and had barely slept. The pain made it too uncomfortable for her to lie down, an immigration and human rights attorney said. So again, this is all coming from the word of mouth of a lawyer, and not to discredit lawyers or anything. I'm not even implying that. But she's having all these medical complications. She had to have the baby a month early. I looked at the baby and said, "Who does this to babies?" Fry said they were being sadistically ignored. Again, trying to pull on the heartstrings, trying to twist the situation. The mother, according to Fry, said she had been taken to the hospital at least once to receive pain medication, but the baby had received no medical attention since being in border control custody, which I have to say is I have to call bullshit because they're saying that she had a C-section. That requires all sorts of medical attention for both mother and baby. The baby was born a month old, so there's no way in hell that the baby didn't receive any medical attention. Some medical attention must have been given to the child, especially with the C-section. And also, get this. The child was born in Mexico just after her teenage mother left Guatemala for the U.S. when she was 8 months pregnant. So, with that being said, because now you can kind of see my problem. The facts don't line up a little bit because they're saying, well, she got emergency C-section, but no medical attention was given to the baby, but the baby was born in Mexico. Also, take note, the mom was 8 months pregnant when she left Guatemala. So she was literally weeks away from giving birth to her child, sounds like her little daughter, and she went on this journey anyway. So she put herself and the baby in danger. And also, like with the mentions of the complications and the child being born early, a month early, she more than likely caused the complications. And I'm not trying to sound cold. I'm not trying to sound heartless. But time and time again, I have seen these articles, oh, the government did this. When you actually dissect what's going on, you will find out that the person who made the journey is at fault. And also, in this case, Mexico has been allowing this garbage to happen. They've allowed all these refugees, all these people coming through their country and not doing a damn thing. They're now doing something thanks to Trump's tariff deal. So they will be taking care of the immigration problem now. So again, the situation is bad, but our government is not to blame. The situation is so egregious and inexplicable, Fry said. No person with good conscience could see this. I think it's all right to do. to any of what they've done. So again, trying to pull on heartstrings, trying to get that outrage going. Again, the situation is bad. I feel bad for these people. I really do. But at the same time, 8 months pregnant. She should have never made the damn journey to begin with. And the fact that she more than likely caused the complications and then had an emergency C-section, and now there's claims that no medical attention was given whatsoever. It doesn't make sense. It does not add up. It really doesn't. No documentation, no photo, no nothing. We don't have anything. Price said one of her colleagues, an immigrant rights advocate, of course, told her on Wednesday that the baby had not cried for 5 hours and become weak and listless. The advocate, according to Fry, said that since the infant was wrapped only in a towel, she's concerned her body temperature was dropping, which can be fatal. Again, this is word of mouth. This is people. Hearth post to me isn't really all that credible. That's just me. I mean, they're so far just by the wording and trying to explain the situation, paint it as the mom had no responsibility whatsoever. So again, I don't even trust the article, what I'm reading here. Children in government custody should not be kept in Border Patrol facilities longer than 72 hours, according to a federal law and a court order. But the Washington Post recently found that children are regularly spending more than a week in stations and processing centers, and advocates told HuffPost that they've encountered numerous mothers with their infants not being transferred to long-term facilities in a timely manner. Well, gee, I wonder why. We have a bunch of people pretty much sardining by the borderline, and our border area is not freaking prepared. It is not our responsibility to deal with this. Border Patrol is for keeping people who don't belong here out and for processing legal or immigrants that want to come here legally. We are not prepared to handle all this, and you're going to see that mentioned at the bottom of this article as well. Fry said that she and her team worked Tuesday and Wednesday to try to get the new mother and her child released from Border Patrol custody. After alerting government officials and medical officers, they also called 911 and the local Child Protective Services office, both of which said they didn't have jurisdiction over the federal facility, according to Fry. Well, yeah, no shit. CPS deals with American children, deals with children of American families that are here legally. They can't do anything in regards to a federal facility. Hello, oh my God. And you call the police. Oh, they won't be able to do anything either. If I'm not mistaken, Border Patrol ICE is above our police officers. They're government agents. What do you think they were going to do? Arrest them? What? Like I said, these lawyers already sound stupid. Things are not ending up, and they're trying to paint the story from how I'm going to assume realistically happened, or we don't have all the facts. We don't have anything. We just have their word of mouth, and so far, it sounds like a bunch of bull. Again, I'm not trying to be cold, but I am so tired of this garbage. Dr. Marsha Griffin, a pediatrician who works at the border and is co-chair of the American Academy of Pediatrics Immigrant Health Special Interest Group, that is a mouthful, said she reached out to government medical officers on behalf of the lawyers, and they were responsive and concerned. Yeah, it's a mess. Just because the situation's going on there doesn't mean anybody wants that particular situation. But again, as I said, Border Patrol is not prepared for any of this. Customs and Border Protection did not respond to HuffPost request for comment. Yeah, I wouldn't either. Senate Jeff Merkley, Democrat Oregon, learned of the case through the lawyers and tweeted on Thursday that officials at the Department of Homeland Security he contacted said the mother and child would be transferred to a long-term shelter immediately, which is good. The lawyers later on Thursday confirmed to HuffPost that the family had been transferred to a resettlement facility, again, which is good. The conditions at Border Patrol facilities have drastically deteriorated in recent months since an influx of immigrants. Pay attention to this. Pay really close attention, because I'm tired. I am so tired of every time something happens, they blame our government, they blame Border Patrol. It's not highlighted. I hate this website. The conditions at Border Patrol facilities have drastically deteriorated in recent months due to an influx of immigrants, including a record number of families and unaccompanied children who have been crossing the border. 5 children have died in Border Patrol custody since December. Again, they are trying to paint our border control as the bad guys. They're not. They have, again, when you have more people and not enough resources, conditions are going to deteriorate. But again, they want to blame the Trump administration, they want to blame our government because we're not responsible for this. We're not supposed to be responsible for these people. And again, I'm not trying to be cold. I'm all for legal immigration. We have many cultures here in the U.S. A lot of our food, architecture, music, our everyday utensils. We have a lot of things that come from many different cultures, and we have a lot of cultures that take stuff from us and apply it to their own worlds. So again, I'm not against immigration of any kind. I just legal, and to have the resources and to make sure we're not bringing criminals over here because it has happened. You guys remember the article, the video going around how a woman, I believe in Detroit, I believe it was Detroit. Anyway, she was petitioning by the Border Patrol, ICE. They were raiding a house, and she goes, "We don't want our neighbors disappearing." You know who the hell was in the house? Human traffickers and smugglers, drug people. So they were smuggling children, women, and drugs over the border, and they all hoarded in the house, and ICE busted them. But you have this stupid woman claiming, "Oh, we don't want our neighbors to disappear." Lady, you have no idea who your neighbors are. Shut up. Anyway, that's just one example of the freaking fuckery that is going on right now. Migrants called the processing centers hileras, ice boxes, because the temperatures are freezing cold and they are given only for like mailer blankets to stay warm. Families also describe eating frozen ham sandwiches and sleeping on concrete floors under bright lights that are kept on 24/7. Well, again, we don't have the resources to deal with this, but because Mexico has allowed all this influx and we have people pushing for open borders, there's been a fight over the freaking wall, which, by the way, was it the House tried to sue Trump for using emergency funds from the military to fund the wall? A federal judge actually ruled that Trump is allowed to do that. So there's no funding for the wall, last I read. We need a way to control this. And this is not it. This is how crap happens. Let's see. Medical experts have previously have posted that Border Patrol centers are not a safe place for kids, and they're not. People should not bring in their damn kids to the border. We do not have resources for that, nor do we have, I want to say, the time, because we have so much going on. We don't even take care of our own people, our elderly, our children. Our freaking CPS system is in the shithole. We have our vets sleeping on the streets. We have our elderly, which doesn't make enough on Social Security. So why the fuck should we be responsible or even held responsible for a bunch of people who ran from their homeland, which, by the way, let me point out something else. Anytime you run from your problems or broken society, that's going to come with you because it was not dealt with. This should be common sense and common knowledge. Anytime you run from a problem, it's going to follow you around. So they're bringing all their issues with them. Most of them aren't medicated. We now have, in the state of California, the bubonic plague, because of the sanitary conditions have just like bottomed out. Come on, we need to do better. No. Instead of trying to like hoard all these people in, they need to go back to their countries. And if anything, this is like my idea, teach them how to solve their problems and then send back home or something. We cannot keep doing this. And I've talked about it before, how a lot of the Democratic leaders want all these immigrants and illegals in for voting. You have California now that has given voting to illegals. Was it state of Texas, somewhere along the border, they now are getting welfare, IDs, all this other stuff. And just like, no, then you kind of deteriorate what it means to be an American citizen, and then you spit upon the immigrants who came here legally and went through the process and have been here ever since. So, Democrats. And hashtag not all, but the Democratic heads, that's what they've been pushing. Anyway, I lost my place. Oh, in part because no thorough medical assessments are provided by the pediatricians, and diseases can spread quickly in the environment. Well, no shit. Again, we don't have the resources. The McAllen Processing Center, the largest in the country, recently had to guarantee 3 dozen migrants with the flu after a 16-year-old in the same facility died of infectious disease. Again, they're coming over here. They're not medicated. They're running from their problems. They're not even willing to fix their own damn country, but they want to come over here. Again, if you're an immigrant and you came here legally, are you going through the process? This video is not to you. This is not for you. Welcome to America. I hope you're able to have a wonderful life here. We have a lot of problems, but there's still a lot of opportunity left. Again, I don't have an issue with immigrants in general. It is the illegal, it's the people that could just come over here and be expected to be let in for whatever reason. No. If that's how you feel, I mean, crap, I mean, if I leave your front door open, like, oh, everybody welcome in. No, that's not how that works. We keep our front doors locked and bolted and armed for a reason. The baby, infant, and mother should have never been held in detention for 5 minutes. Price said any small sickness would kill her, period. No, that's not, again, she had put the facts together. She came over, about ready to give birth, had an emergency C-section due to complications that she more than likely got from traveling or developed from her traveling and poor conditions, because these are caravans of people who, again, the sanitation conditions are low. A lot of them are sick. There's other shit going on. So, no, people are not allowed here just to enter willy-nilly. We have our system for a reason, but again, our system is overtaxed majorly. And I'm actually glad Mexico has stepped in, or they said they would, in response to Donald Trump saying that he would rescind his tariffs. Process already spread that. She said premature babies in particular should be quickly transferred out of border patrol facilities and transferred to centers where they can receive proper nutrition and medical care. Again, the system is overtaxed. They have to process everybody. So when you have a system that's overtaxed, a lot of people are going to be missed. Things are going to come to a halt. Again, you're trying to pull on people's heartstrings without actually acknowledging the responsibility of the mom, first off, and second off, realizing that our system's overtaxed when dealing with these people that are trying to come in. Border Patrol facilities were designed to house single men who previously made up the majority of immigrants crossing the border, and they are not equipped to handle the influx of families. And also, let me give you a hint here, a little reminder. Not all people who come over with children, they're not families. Half the time, those are human smugglers trying to get across the border with children for trafficking purposes. I'm not kidding. So I know there was like a bit of controversy of the center doing swabs, like DNA swabs, to make sure that the child that was with the adult was actually theirs. I'm all for that. But again, our system's too overtaxed to even do that. And I'm not like shitting on Border Patrol or ICE or anything like that, but this cannot go on. This cannot go on. This is why the wall is going to go up, or there's now funding for it. Processing Center in El Paso, Texas has crammed up to 900 migrants in a cell supposed to hold 125 people. Oh my gosh. And some of the migrants had to stand on toilets to find breathing room, according to a recent report by DHS Inspector General. Children in Border Patrol stations have reported being physically abused and having to drink toilet water to stay hydrated. Well, yeah, when you hoard a bunch of people from different foreign lands and their culture doesn't really assimilate or integrate with other people's, or they don't know how, and it just proper manners, you are going to get children that are going to get mistreated, even the women, and some of the men. It's not good. We have allowed, and this has been built up to the Obama administration, I think even the Bush administration, we have allowed the system to go on long enough. Now, let me touch upon this because I am pro-Trump. Trump is now trying to come in here and clean up all this mess. He's not racist. He's not xenophobic. He's none of these things. People try to paint him as a bad guy because he goes in and goes, nope, this is bullshit. This needs to be out, done, gone, go. So, granted, he's rough around the edges, but for me, it's just like he's been cracking the whip and trying to fix some of the problems that have been allowed to fester, deteriorate our systems. This is a perfect example of a deterioration of our systems of a Homeland Security or Border Patrol. You have people that want to dispel ICE for whatever freaking reason because, oh, they all belong here, open borders. No, that's how you feel? Seriously, leave your front door open. You don't deserve to have a front door or any type of locked door in your home. Like, I'm not kidding. This is why we have security for a reason. Because let's use the examples. What's going on in the UK, which is part of the EU? Open borders for any country that's connected to the EU. Let's look at Germany and their immigration problem rate has gone up to the roof. Other problems have gone up to the roof. Let's look at Sweden, which, if you guys follow Solf, by the way, she was doing a response to a 6-year-old. Solf, the girl she was responding to was named Greta. I don't have the last name on top of my head, but Greta is now being bolstered as a face for Sweden for climate change. She is a distraction. You know what's going on in Sweden right now? Immigration problem. They also have an overflux of people. And because they don't know how to deal with it, and the people, like, look what happened to France. Hello? Look at all the people. Like, France used to be the city of love, Paris. No, the place is trashed. It looks like a third world country. This is our system, our security, Homeland Security, our Border Patrol, our ICE. Yeah, it has a lot of problems, but if you compare our country to what has happened, France, Europe, UK, what is still going on in the UK right now. People are fighting back. Freaking what they're trying to do in New Zealand. Our systems have prevented all that shit from happening here. But of course, you have the Democrats, you have all these idiotic leaders that want to push for that very same system that have destroyed so many countries. You have the Democratic Socialist crap moving in. Look what happened to Venezuela. Venezuela is in the midst of riots right now because they get tired of their socialist government. It destroys people. Open borders is not a good thing. There's security for a reason. If you are pushing for open borders, take the fucking front door off your house. I'm not kidding. I'm so. Anytime something bad happens in our border patrol, it's automatically the government's fault. No, wake up, open your eyes, and realize that we are overtaxed. Our system right now is overly taxed and is beyond the point of breaking. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna rant. I read so many of these articles. They're so similar to each other. How it's somehow always Trump's fault or the government's fault. It's just like no. Government officials say they don't have the resources. Here we go. Don't have the resources to deal with specific needs of families in Border Patrol facilities. But advocates say the Trump administration has continuously put children's health in jeopardy. No, he hasn't done jack shit. And if anything, I think he granted a bunch of visas and asylum to I forget how many number of immigrants. But no, he's been trying to rectify this, man. From family separation to holding children for up to 9 months in temporary facilities. Again, our systems are overtaxed, so processing is going to come to a complete and utter halt. And that there's no excuse for this treatment. Again, when you have a system, because these freaking ring dings, again, these are lawyers for the immigrants, the illegals coming over, is when you have a system that does not have enough resources, that means more and more people come in with less and less being able to go around. That includes medical supplies, food, blankets, clothing, attention, manpower to process paperwork, to get everybody checked out. Hey, use your damn rights. Use your damn rights. We're not. Now, granted, I will say things could get a little bit better, but there needs to be a burden lift from our system. And no, not for everybody to be allowed to be poured in, because that's not going to help either. Mexico, like I said, has agreed that they're going to step in. So if anything, hopefully they take some of a lot of these refugees and immigrants off of our hands so we can fix our broken system. And also, something to keep in mind too, again, as I said, not everybody belongs here. You do want people who want to contribute to society, who are educated, because we have a lot of technology industries running that require high intelligence. You need to be able to read and write. You need to be able to put things together. You need to be able to have common sense, common logic, all these things. We still need this in our country. We cannot afford our society to be dumbed down. Now, it's already kind of happening in some ways, like with our youth and whatnot, which, if you guys paid any attention to what's been going on with our colleges and how they've been tossing out certain curriculum and how it's not become a safe space, and anybody comes out of those colleges and are not prepared for the real world. So we kind of already have that going on. If we cannot make it worse, that would be awesome. Again, I am all for legal immigration, and if you came here, your family did, by immigration means or whatnot, and legally, welcome to America. I have nothing against you guys whatsoever. But this is out of control, And this is something that needs to be fixed. And anytime somebody goes to fix it, you guys demonize them, making the problem all that much more worse. So anyway, this has been your humble host. I am done with my rant. This would have been a stream topic had I not had other plans for my stream this week. Anyway, you guys have a nice night.